We all have lives that go on without us. I've a cricket me who didn't stop like that was that when my bat had felt as heavy as England and I took no wickets while the coach stood in my net in the second and final trial for Warwickshire. A bear and staff on my jumper, perhaps later. But those butterflies, it thundered outside on that second day. Life forks and stops where another follows on. England's Maureen Ali went to my school. His dad's from Didial. Mine's up in the village over the bridge. I don't know if he knows what I do now. Dad, I mean. We all have lives that go on without us, unwritten. I have history on grounds I've not played on. Grace Road, the Oval, Eden Gardens. We all have lives that go on without. It matters where the line breaks. I knew I should pursue this future that was almost behind me, at the wood's edge, a realm between weathers, where losses and times fold at the crease, clueless as to what it was, or for whom. Rain Globe. In this tilted, storm-knocked world, this drop of earth that holds the lift, how can we secure the cobblestones to the coastal fog, or believe that above the whirl of cloud and flood, we might see through walls on this stony sky the smudged, wobble-handed fingerprints of love. Prayer. First heard words delivered to this right ear. Allahu Akbar, God is great, by my father in the Queen Elizabeth maternity ward. God's breath in man, returning to his birth, says Herbert, is prayer. If I continued his lines from there, from birth, a break Herbert chimes with heaven and earth. I'd keep in thought my mum on a Hereford hospital bed and say what prayer didn't end. I'd say I made an animal noise, hurled languages hurt, at midday when word had come. Cancer, now so spread, by midnight her rings were off. I stayed on, at her bed. Earlier, time and rhythm flatlining, I whispered, thank you, I love you, thank you. Mouth at her ear, she stared on, ahead. I won't know if she heard. A room on your own. The word I keep reaching for, crossing out and then putting back in, is and. This spring, where nothing passes from one hand to another, save to my own, like the inhalers I carry in every room here, all 4 of them. Inhalers, I mean, each shaped the same, with its own shading, colour. It's good to have you, and, slowing the pace, to say then, and then, and then.
Day 1. Deliverance. That morning, April rain came. Hurricane heavy with word of death. We half awake, rolling last night's flecks of sleep out of dozy eyes from a weary 17-hour bus journey to Santiago. We promised that day to swim in the saltiness of Santiago de Cuba's sea. But that morning, she died. So we did not break fast. Our stomachs pot full of grief, we doused the ground with liquid morning cane juice rum, set up the dead to journey in disbelief. We blew smoke of Santerio Bianco rum dipped cigar to the sky spirits. It was gifted to us by a polished ebony white-suited Orisha man. We danced all evening with him. The day before, that morning, the phone rang. Deliverance came, mournful words, unlike the sweetness of Santeria canticles. We listened to the reggae root rock rhythms. We'll be forever loving Jah. Our psalms. We sat calm, head to head, Natty wrapped in the sadness of we bodies. He, a lonely blues beating boat out at sea. Me, a gentle wave rocked him back softly to the rhythm of grief. That morning, we cried, a measure of pain unknown. She's dead. She died. She, his sister. We, in mourning, travelled that morning all day and night, the long arm road of Santiago to Havana to bury the dead. That morning, with no setup, 9-night ceremonies or song, just we and our Father's prayer. Day 2, burial rites. Today she lay dead so, in a light blue canvas casket, cotton white burial dress, a slight, silky soft cocoa brown smile. Last cigarette burning ritual, coffee, limp flowers curls sad, in the sweat of Havana's heat, placed, dead rites. A space for the living. Cloudy, bereaved eyes want to resurrect her back, to break the aching silence, her deadbed. What a weird them moves so fast, crossing self at the threshold, sweep clean, fold away her belongings. Where is the calabash? Eshun, Oya, Oshun, priest, herbs, shells and honeydew, water to invoke her name. Invoke spirit, invoke her to pour her sweet and tender by the riverside. Instead, we lay her with 2 others in a tomb. No graveside hymns, no call on response. That day, we paused, sipped water in remembrance of her. Roots running. Up there in a Lawrence tavern, right up there where the sugar cane grows, there my great granddaddy's daddy's sweat could have watered the soil. Imagine him, steadfast, bent and buckled, with a machete sharp and swift, him cut and release the sugary liquid that makes the rum that we now offer in remembrance of the McLaren name in the family line. But I ask myself, who is McLaren? Could he be the one that did own all these acres long before say we did know? Say we dey free to drink this rum, as sweet as the blood and the sunshine. As we pour it to the soil and remember who we dey call on, to know that we are not stronger than these roots. The man who walked with crosses and Mars feathers. Them said trouble take him, can't see if him old shoes fit him. Walk with crosses hanging from him eyeglass, a dozen or more pan him neck. Bend up weight of a crucifixion was borrowed pain, and forgiveness was a pulsating rhythm in him left hand, upholding a staff like Moses. Him one, walking,
eyes crisscrossing the skylines as if sea map to back home, assailing cracks in the pavements, notating verse as if his island Bible, chipping morning colours, carnival mass feathers far from him dusty hat, in pockets full of the saltiness of sweat. Kaiser man, singing holy with drum and treble pan sound, throwing message of back home and bush bath, melting black liquid of jab molasses and hard time and fire and fear styled rhythms. Donkey want water you feel hold him Joe. Hold who? Him. Who fear God? Who dopey frightened? Who run left in pitney for next woman who soon dead? His voice treads the softness of the steel breeze. His feet cowbell knocking notes in the corners of these streets. The hotness of pan licking back home lyrics. The smoothness of hallelujah, praise be to God songs. Walking alone with prayers and Mars feathers and a whole heap of crosses. And no one dare ask, how I take him? How I make him look sore? The talk is, since his wife dead and cross over, him never too right. Him tie him belly to grief and prayer song beneath the grey skies. He favor all brook blackbirds, but he's still preaching, still walking, chipping, and calypso wheeling crosses from his eyeglass, waiting for testimony of blood of Christ in verse, for punishment until the night become orange sky and earth like home. He bearing his crosses across his chest in pan song. Him not king teeth. Him not inna the bacchanal. He say he waiting for God and carnival and Jesus to come.
He returned, remembering David Olawale. Where does the river run to? My children ask. Out of winter sunshine, we stand under dark arches, in echoing shadow, in chills of stone and subterranean water, in rumbles of overhead trains above heaving river rush. Where does the river run to? We hang like the question, peering over railings, absorbed by the thundering air that consumed Olawale. Olawale, waterborne to this city. Olawale, who did not submit until they pitched him in. Where does the river run to? Olawale knows. He journeyed down inky northern canals and tunneled out into the pulsing spread of Atlantic waters under an outraged sky. Shade. What is this business of shade, this fixation with hue, this delinquent melanin? The mixed ticks and tricks betwixt the box marked other. To fix this business of shade, the puzzle of origin, you call me black in America, red-skinned girl in Jamaica, yellow child, Creole, here, half-caste. Also, I can be your métis, mulatto, Martinican blue-eyed Chabin, or pour sauver. But know this, from the skin that I'm in, the view is as clear as a tropical night. I see beyond histories of shade, and I know that this issue of hue is a problem concocted by you. Bath of herbs. While I mewed newborn in my basket, my mother lay birth ruptured. You prepared a bath of herbs gathered from your garden under beating summer skies. With pestle and mortar, You crushed yellow chamomile into young mint, pressed buds of newly flowered lavender, sprinkled ocean salt with cramped fingers. You mixed cloves of oil of orange made back then for now. You mix, scrape, paste, add plant to water until bath and steam are essence bursting, until tiles gleam and mirrors mist, until all is ready to receive. And so you lead her, daughter of yours, long and naked, hurting, tender, slowly sink her into hot, forgetting waters. Uncoil her aching body. Your love hits her lungs, diffuses into every crevice of her form. She will step out strong again to greet the world and me. Grandmother, daughter healer, I give thanks.